my own.
Victory or death!
As tempting as it is to keep 2 mana draw 4, I don't think I can keep any of this stuff, especially against Rogue. Awful hand. Okay, there's a 2-drop. And I think this is pretty good against Rogue, especially on the coin. Although maybe they're not playing too many spells on turn 2 necessarily.
Efficient is sufficient.
Unfortunate.
Be thirsty.
I mean, if I trade into that, then they just trade back into my 3-1, which is annoying. Probably just go face.
Initiating overdrive. It's quiet. Too quiet.
This is going to be a fun turn 3. Man, it's really surprising to me how good 2-mana Emperor Thorson is. Who could have predicted such a thing?
That's an upgrade. Probably.
Well, I have to kill that.
No one crosses the uncrowned.
Sword Eater and Rogue. Well, I think I pretty much always just play a Stone Maul Anchorman here.
Wretched story. Laid to smash.
I'd probably rather kill a Wand Thief than the Octobot at this point. It only matters if it gets bounced, and I'm pretty sure that's the worst bounce for me. I might be playing Control a little bit too hard here, but I don't know, pushing 2 face damage when my opponent's at 27 didn't really seem that useful. I can cleave with my Reaper's Scythe here. I think I can find a better spot for that, though. I feel like it was so greedy to send the 2-1 face last turn. But I guess that deck plays Penflinger, right? So maybe it's not that greedy. My opponent doesn't have mana to play this golem here. Unless they take the 1, which tends to be pretty bad, but maybe it would be okay here if they got the buff. Probably not, though. Oh, wow. They took a 1-mana golem. Well, I probably just cleave here. I throw away a weapon charge to do that. It's a really good cleave, though. So for this guy, I've played a Stonemaul Anchorman, and that's it. So if I play this here, then I can play this next turn for full value, or I can try to be greedy and next turn go like Anchorman Rakara, and then this gets double Anchorman. That's probably the better way to go at this point. I don't think my 1-3 does anything immediately. Alright. Pretty slow turn.
I'm not too young to fight.
I guess we just chill here. Pretty good draw for the opponent. Yeah, that 3-10's pretty hard for my deck to deal with. I probably just ignore it for the rest of the game. Really, you don't play Penflinger first here.
That's an upgrade. Probably.
Saurfang's good against that.
Efficient is sufficient.
Saurfang's bad against that. Wow, that's an interesting secret passage.
Too soon.
That's an upgrade. Probably.
Armorsmith. Alright, let's kill this so I don't AoE it. Let's trade this off so we can res it. That was a really good turn. The opponent can Penflinger my 4-1s though, which is unfortunate.
I get
Oh, okay. I guess they're not going to bother doing that.
Garrosh versus.
God, I haven't played against a Paladin in forever.
Will fight with honor. Victory or death.
Alright, try to find a weapon for the Mor'shan Elite. Okay. This is a pretty good hand. Makes it even better.
Join the fight. Glory awaits.
Cult Neophyte's not very good here because my opponent is just going to play Sword. But it is still a 3-2. Oh my gosh.
For duty.
Missed Sword.
The gulch is ours.
So what do I know about this secret? It's not Reckoning or Noble Sack. Yeah. Could be Oh My Yogg, Galloping Savior, or Avenge still.
I wonder.
Alright, Penflinger means it's a Libram deck.
Ooh, bet there's something great inside.
Not Noble Sack, please. Unfortunate. I could have used my weapon to check for Noble Sack, but with Mor'shan Elite and Cutting class, I really just don't want to hit with my weapon here, I think.
We'll fight back these brutes.
That's a good target for my weapon. Probably gonna be Avenge, which kind of sucks, but whatever. No Avenge, okay. So one of those is definitely Oh My Yogg, which means I have to decide what I want to get countered. Stage Dive or Cutting class.
This is not what we stood for.
Probably Stage Dive. I mean, I lose the stat buff, but I'd rather just draw an entire extra card, I think. Hopefully this does 1 damage to the Divine Shield, somehow. Oh, if I'd got a good hero power there, it would have worked. Galloping Savior, sure. My opponent hasn't played any Libram stuff, so no particular cult neophyte thing I'm trying to do. I guess I probably just play Frothing here. Actually, what does Talon draw? It's Lady Liadrin, right? Not very concerned about her at this point.
I'm going to throw the book at you.
Wasn't me.
8 health on that thing, huh? That's a lot of health. Of the things I could stage dive into, we have Samuro, which does like 6 damage. The Anchorman also deals 6. Nothing super clean.
This is not what we stood for.
Let's just chill for a turn. Also, Cult Neophyte blocks Libram of Hope this turn, which might have been good, like trade into the 4-3 and then, well, no, because then I guess Frothing still just one-shots that. But it's just nice for the opponent to not have an 8/8 taunt Divine Shield here.
I wonder.
I probably should look up what secrets that deck plays. I don't... Does it play Noble Sack? I don't know. Didn't I run into a Noble Sack this game? Why isn't it on my deck tracker?
Reporting for duty. I must move quickly.
Well, there's my Alex, which means that this draws Overlord Saurfang here. Which does 1 AoE, but that's... It just makes an Envoy. Although, maybe... Is Frothing just lethal?
I wonder.
Frothing is just lethal, right? This puts it up to 10. The Whirlwind surely gives it 5 power. This hits Noble Sack. Avenge. Oh my Yogg, don't do anything.
Rotten to the core. Join the fight. Rise up. Children of the Horde. I strike. For the Horde. For the Horde.
That was a cute lethal. Oh no, Avenge! The Murloc is so big!
Versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Victory or death!
Wow, that's a lot of weapons. I think Gnarg is the best one, though. Especially against Mage, where the weapon itself doesn't really matter too much, usually. And I'm actually on the coin, so I can play Mor'shan Elite on turn 4. Probably still gonna play Mor'shan Elite on turn 4, even with the Sword Eater picked up. You do love to see this garbage on turn 2 in that deck. My turn 2 is also garbage, though. Ow, my face! Definitely seems like a Rokara. And I'm gonna hit with the weapon because I have a lot of weapon charges. I probably go like Mor'shan Elite next turn, then maybe like Sword Eater plus Gnarg on 5. Perfect spread, you'd love to see it. There was probably some serious consideration to Cult Neophyte here. But I made a 4-mana 8/8. Apexis Blast is definitely the nightmare on turn 5, though. Okay, Refreshing Springwater into Apexis Blast is the nightmare on turn 5. Gnarg in the middle for combustion number 2. I really want to play Cult Neophyte here, but it's hard to do anything along with it. It might still just be better to go Neophyte instead of Anchorman, though. It probably is. And there's no point in playing a Reaper Scythe because my Gnarg is waking up. It's very possible that just playing Reaper Scythe and hitting here was good. I push 1 extra damage. But, like, I'm never going to use these Reaper Scythe charges, I'm pretty sure. I just have too many weapons. And the armor doesn't really seem to matter at this point. That's a good draw. Alright, so my opponent made some armor here, but we're going to break through it next turn anyway. We're going to have Alexstrasza to finish the game. So, I'm feeling pretty good about this game, considering no Deck of Lunacy so far. Powerful. This turn is very straightforward. We want to be able to go Weapon plus Alexstrasza next turn. Alright, should be game.
And the cycle of life is reborn anew.
We're climbing. Alright, so after playing a bit with this deck, I ended up going 22 and 13, which is a 63% win rate. And I would say I was pretty satisfied with it overall. I think I proved, to myself at least, that Warrior was not that bad pre-nerf. But there probably are still some optimizations we can make. I think the first of those is going to be getting rid of Blade Master Samuro. At this point, it's pretty much only good if I hit it off Stage Dive. That never really happened, and even then, sometimes it's a bit sketchy, so I think I probably tossed the Samuro. Plus, I've got like way more important things to be doing on turn 4. Maybe just replace it with a Sunwell Initiate so we can keep the same number of Frenzy minions for the Overlord. And I was only playing 4 3-drops, which is maybe a little bit low. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good change to the deck. Other than that, I'm pretty satisfied with everything else. I ended up adding Imprisoned Gnarg because it's just a good 1-drop. We really appreciate weapons in this deck. I think it's pretty nice. I also ended up adding Oasis Thrashers for a couple more Frenzy minions. And pretty often I felt like I was like right at having lethal, but not quite there. So if I can deal 3 extra damage with my 2-drop, seems like it could be pretty good. I also ended up adding a Talon Ford Ring, because tutoring out the Alexstrasza seemed pretty good. I was originally playing Ringmaster Watley in this deck, and then I cut it, and then several games after cutting it, I decided to try out the Talon. Maybe the Watley is just better than Talon. But, I mean, I think Talon definitely has its upsides, right? Because we're playing the card in this slot mostly just to draw Alexstrasza. And if you draw Alex already, then this can draw Overlord Saurfang, which is really good. But, of course, Watley can also draw into, like, a Pirate, and it can also draw into a Mech, which is why I was playing Stagehand originally. And, we probably can include the Stagehand pretty easily going forward, because now that Mage is nerfed, we probably don't really need Cult Neophyte, so just put Stagehand in that slot. And then at this point, we already have Mechs and Pirates and 1 Dragon, so probably does make sense to just play Watley in this slot. But I'm not entirely convinced that it's better than Talon Ford Ring. Or maybe we even play both. I ended up adding another Sunwell Initiate. Maybe we just play Talon and Watley in this deck, but I don't know. The curve feels a little bit high there, but maybe having a higher curve is more okay going forward. My only real concern going forward with this deck after the nerfs is maybe now that Mage isn't, 50% of the field, maybe Rush Warrior gets a lot better. And maybe Rush Warrior just ends up being the better version of this deck. But I liked this pre-nerf a lot, and it probably can't be that bad going forward.